On the heels of a dominant 7-0 shutout win in the quarterfinals over Lakin on Monday, the Southeast of Saline softball team is semifinal bound, and this morning they'll battle a Kingslayer for the right to play for a state title on Friday night. Southeast has looked cool, calm, and collected all season long, a stark contrast to their fast-paced chaos style of softball, and today they'll look to go where just one Lady Trojan team before them has gone and give themselves a chance to play for the first ever softball title in school history. Hello everyone and welcome inside the broadcast booth here at Oroka Ballpark in Lawrence, Kansas. I'm Tyler Henry, joined by Anthony Georges, and we're so glad you chose to spend your morning with us in what should be a showdown for the ages. While the Lady Trojans were handling their business with the 8 seed, Jefferson West was taking down 3A Royalty, defeating Frontenac 4-2 in extra innings and ending a streak of back-to-back and 3 out of 4 Lady Raider state titles. Since 2015, 3A has been won by a collection of just 5 different teams, with Silver Lake representing the last hope for the old guard on the opposite side of the bracket against the new blood of Southeast of Saline, Jefferson West, and Haven. The Lady Tigers come into this contest as the 5 seed at 22-6, with a who's who of a gauntlet schedule, but all records go out the window when the first pitch flies here today. It's Southeast of Saline and Jefferson West with a ticket to the 3A state championship game on the line, and you're watching here free of charge on Salina Post. Coming up, we'll chat with SES head coach Tyler Smith to get his thoughts on today's game and the season as a whole. Coverage of this state semifinal is presented by Bennington State Bank and Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Mowry Clinic.
At Mowry Clinic Sports Medicine, we are available when you need us most. I'm Dr. Andrew Westbrook, and I am the sports medicine physician at Mowry Clinic. I see patients of all ages and help them come back stronger than ever. From broken bones to joint pain, my team and I are committed to help you do more. For those with sports injuries, come see us at our sports medicine walk-in clinic Monday and Thursday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. Prevent, recover, and strengthen so you can perform your best. Mowry Clinic Sports Medicine. Make your move with confidence.
The Bennington State Bank proudly supports local sports and wants each student to know that their hard work and talent is noticed and appreciated. At Bennington State Bank, they care about local communities and are committed to fostering long-term relationships through the delivery of excellent customer service, integrity, and fairness. From helping local businesses to supporting community youth and nonprofits to helping you purchase your dream home or invest in your future, Bennington State Bank is here to help. Give them a call to experience exceptional banking with hometown service. Bennington State Bank, your trusted hometown bank. Member FDIC.
Welcome back in here on the Salina Post Sports Network. It is the state softball tournament in Class 3A, and Southeast of Saline sits just 2 wins away from their first ever state championship. We're joined here by head coach Tyler Smith. Coach, first and foremost, congrats on making it this far. What a year you guys have had.
Yeah, it's been something else. I mean, you look at game 1, 1-0 victory against a very good Heston squad. And it seems like that's how the whole season's played out. Like we've grinded out some games. We came back in the second game of that doubleheader. We were down 3 or 4, I think, maybe in the 4th or 5th, and came back and won that game 8-6. And from that, it just kind of springboarded us, into this, magical season, this magical run that the girls are on.
Well, and this run has come with, a million different numbers that I could bring up. And believe me, every other media outlet in Kansas has brought up the numbers. They are spectacular. We'll get into some of those here in a bit. But I want to start here. This team plays with just this unbridled joy that you don't always see. It can be easy to get tense and be uptight this time of year. But, just walk me through how much fun these girls are having and how much fun it's been to be their coach this year.
It's been a blast. And, I think a lot of that is I don't think they know how good they are. I think they're completely naive to situations. We talked about, graduating 7 seniors last year who all, most of them played 3 years with Coach Pesha Potacek in absolutely great program. Coach Potacek did amazing things, for Southeast. So we all of a sudden, we returned 4 or 5 girls that played considerable time, but they were all young. They were all kind of in role spots. And when I say role spots, I say that, but it's also we had Zerflu, Heinrich, and Samuelson coming back up all-state seasons. Zerflu only a sophomore last year, a junior now, and then Heinrich and Samuelson coming off their freshman year. So with that said, there was never really a leader. We didn't have that leadership there. All the girls that were, coming back and experiencing success this year had been role players every time they had, played for Southeast. So it was enjoyable, and I think that leads to kind of some of this, unbridled joy, as you said. They haven't done this. They haven't been the leaders. Samuelson and Heinrich has done a great job kind of, taking that leadership role. Carly has as well, but it's our lone senior, Riley Donnelly, is kind of the one that's, telling everybody, get up out the dugout. She's a leader. She tells the girls what, she leads by how she does things, and it's been great to have that leadership from Riley.
Well, and it would be tough to have, any more momentum than what your team does. You've got a plus 202 run differential. You've outscored your opponents 239-37. That includes 12 shutouts on the year. You're currently riding a 22-game winning streak into the state semifinals. Like you said, it just feels like this wave of momentum is kind of carried throughout the year. Do you feel like that success has kind of beget more success as this year's gone on?
Oh, without a doubt. It does it festers, doesn't it? It's one of those things that one thing leads to another. You just continue to stack those things. Like, everything's contagious in this game. We can, I believe it's Bull Durham. Maybe I don't know what movie I'd be quoting, but just the amount of contagion that goes on in softball. You see somebody do something good, the next person does it, and it just continues to carry on like that. But yeah, the wins are as well. And we've kind of done things a little bit different than we did last year. We've used Zerflu in back-to-back games more so than we did last year, just because we understood the importance of getting on a roll. We understand the importance of, being in this absolutely gauntlet of a regional, how we had to come out with home field advantage. We thought that was the most important thing with our regional. It paid off. And then not only, we weren't even thinking this far, but it also gave us the number 1 seed, in the state tournament, which, we were fortunate that we, were able to attain that. We were able to stay close to home, get to play at Salina South, pulled an 8 seed in Lakin that, their 15-13 record coming into state did not do them justice. That's the best 15-win team I've seen. They were just really solid. It's an up-and-coming team that's going to be good for years to come. But, it's always nice when you are the 1 seed, you get to play that 8 seed, and you got to be as close to home as possible for it.
Well, and with Lakin, you get to the state semifinals in 7 state runs in the last 15 years. This is only the 3rd time Southeast has done this. In Wichita Trinity, you took down, in my opinion, one of the best pitchers and probably one of the best teams in the state. You had big wins this year over Minneapolis, over Beloit, over a Chapman team that went to state in 4A. Was there ever a point this year where, you won a game and the thought kind of crossed your mind of, hey, we could go out and win this whole darn thing?
Yeah, I think we had a quad in McPherson where we played El Dorado and we played McPherson. And we beat El Dorado late with Annabelle Soul, squeezes, Reese Heinrich in. And El Dorado's record just doesn't show what kind of team they are as well. When we walked away from that game, walking over to the other field to get ready to play McPherson, we kind of looked around. We're like, we didn't play great, but, El Dorado just did everything right and kept the game tight. And I was really eager and excited to see what it was going to be like against McPherson. So then we played McPherson, defending 4A state champs. And I know they graduated a lot of players from last year, but it was their senior night. So it was packed. And, we're also not used to playing like in an environment with walk-up songs and, a PA. Like 3A softball is a little bit more chill. You get to a 4A, establishment like McPherson. And it was all that. Huge crowd. And Zerflu was absolutely lights out. And the bottom of our lineup just absolutely knocked the ball all around, came out with a 6-2 win. And I think it was after that we kind of looked at each other as a coaching staff and thought, all right, we got to figure out a way to keep this going. Because our schedule then, got a little bit soft near the end of the season where, we just kind of had to figure out a way to keep that fire lit and to keep throwing gasoline on it, because we knew the regional was going to be difficult. Like, we knew the opening round game was going to be all right. We should be able to handle business, but there was no just walking into the park and walking away with a win. We went to regional. So the girls did a great job just taking everything we did. We had to get creative as coaching staff, kind of, create some, impromptu scrimmage styles. We only have 14 girls on our roster, so a lot of times myself and Coach Metlin were also, playing as well to try to give it as much of a game-like situation as we could. But the girls took everything in stride, and you forget that you don't know what you don't know. And these girls don't know. They just keep playing and keep winning and keep doing, everything we ask.
I've said to some people who have asked, what is it that makes Southeast of Saline so good? I said Tyler Smith came in 2 years ago, looked at a well-oiled machine, and his first act as head coach was to cut the brake line. The speed with which your team plays with 153 stolen bases, you guys succeed 93% of the time, but it's the aggressive plays at the plate that you force that just keeps this relentless pressure on. How fun of a brand of softball is it? Is it nerve-wracking to be that aggressive? And, how have you seen that kind of turn into more and more success and confidence?
I don't know if it's nerve-wracking just because I have so much trust in the girls. Tyler, you can only coach what you have, and I think, and I tell this story to a lot of people. Day one, last year, my first ever practice. Samuelson and Samuelson and Heinrich are 3 days late to practice because they were finishing up basketball. And I knew that they could play. I watched them play catch for the first time, and I penciled them in right away, center field, shortstop. Like, you just tell by the way they threw, by the way they tracked the ball. And then, I was big into getting times from first to second. You and I talk about this, quite a bit. It's not about stolen bases. It isn't about like a baseball game where it's like the delivery. It's a high leg step. Are we going to go quick pitch? What are we going to do? It's a math game. And I got the stop clock on them. And I'm like, well, they can't be thrown out. Like, you have to be an absolute, unit behind the dish to do anything and throw them out. So we just started to have them run immediately. And that kind of, then grew into, all right, we're going to take 2 bags here. And then all of a sudden, if you guys feel comfortable going 4, we're going to go 4, and we're going to go. And now that we're in these tight games where runs are at a premium, and it happened, against Wichita Trinity, we did something similar where we sent Durfee, in a play that looked absolutely bonkers, never should have censored, but I didn't know where else we were going to score. When you get to these games now, we might get somebody thrown out. All right, we did it with Kaya Samuelson, when we played Lakin, and I held my hand up. I want these girls to know if I send you and you get thrown out the plate by a mile like Kaya did, that's on me. Put the hand up so she knew it was on me. I wanted the fans to know it was on me because I want them to go with confidence. If I'm waving you, you're going to go. Sometimes it doesn't pay off, but it has, and it's just putting pressure on people. We talk about it. To make one throw to another throw to another throw to get a tag down, there's a lot of moving parts in that. You start speeding up defenses. Usually it works in your favor, and it has for us so far.
I'm going to take you back to a place that I think not a lot of people have, and maybe it's an uncomfortable memory, but you guys were, really 1 or 2 pitches away from going to state last year. You end up losing to Silver Lake in the regional finals. First of all, how far have you seen this group of girls grow? You got a lot of pieces back from that team last year, but more importantly, how big is it for them to finally be here and to have a chance to go and win it all as opposed to being at home by the time state starts?
Yeah, I think every season kind of tells its own story, and just watching it, it's one of those things. These girls now, they put a lot of pressure on themselves, and they're perfectionists. And I like to support them and get their names out. Sports in Kansas does a great job. Kansas pregame. Obviously you guys do as well with Salina Post. So all these things happen, and before you know it, preseason stuff starts coming out, and a lot of them are getting a lot of recognition that they deserve, that they earned. It's them that did it. But then I think sometimes they put some pressure on themselves. And Reese Heinrich this year started off extremely slow. Like, was really struggling. Just was struggling to get on base. I think she made 2 errors early as well, which just doesn't happen. And, she struggled. But then all of a sudden, she clicked, and that's when, our offense started to blossom a little bit. Zerflew, the same, with all the preseason accolades. She just came in mowing regardless. Like, it didn't matter. But you're seeing Zerflew and pitching coach Stephanie Matlin, they're on the same page now. Like, they understand why we're throwing these pitches, why we're doing this, what the concept behind it all, as opposed to just throwing pitches. We're throwing to where our defense is playing. We're throwing to the weaknesses of batters. Carly's done such a great job of not just throwing for the strikeout, like throwing to set people up. And so much of her success is because of what she is doing, but it's also, her and Coach Matlin being on the same page with everything.
Well, and last thing, and we'll leave you with this. Obviously, one thing that I've loved about you guys in your program, you tend to keep the focus pretty internal, regardless of who you play. You're going to go out and play a certain style of softball, but obviously a big semifinal game coming up here against Jefferson West. When you have a chance to take a look at this Lady Tiger team and what you'll be facing here today, what are the biggest things that stand out to you, and what did Southeast of Saline have to do to advance to that state championship game for, as far as I know, just the second time in program history?
Yeah, Tyler, I think it's one of those things. You get this far into a season, you can't really look at the other team. Like, here's what we know about Jefferson West. They're one of the Final Four teams in a loaded, Class 3A state tournament. And if you know anything about 3A sports, you see Jeff West everywhere. Like, they're a lot like Southeast. They're a lot like Silver Lake. They're a lot like Haven, where all their sports are good. That means they have great athletes. It means they have a great community. It means they've been coached well. They do things the right way. We just kind of have to do things our way. And, our way is Surflu goes and pumps the strike zone. Defensively behind her, we eliminate mistakes. We make the easy play every once in a while. We'll throw ahead of base and try to get somebody out. Like we'll do those things. Like we got to take care and minimize damage from the defensive side. Offensively, we got to get base runners on and kind of let that havoc begin. And a section of the lineup, whether it's the top, middle, or bottom, has to come through like they have. When we played Lakin, it was the bottom of the lineup that did such a great job. Obviously, the top of the lineup kind of did their small ball thing, but it was the bottom of the lineup with Hannah Teal and Madeline McFadden, both with triples. Teal also threw in a double as well. But as long as a section of the lineup strings some stuff together, I think we're going to be all right. Just got to do our thing and put the pressure on, and that's always the goal. Play your best softball late in May. We're doing that right now. We got to do that again a couple more times.
Well, Coach Smith, thank you so much for your time. Congrats on making it this far. And, hey, one way or another, we'll talk to you a little bit here in just about a day.
All right. Appreciate everything you do, Tyler. Thank you.
Once again, that was head coach Tyler Smith. His Lady Trojans taking on Jefferson West for a ticket to the 3A state championship game. Hey, this has been the pregame show. We're going to step away. When we come back, we've got 3A softball coming your way. You're watching it right here on the Salina Post Sports Network. It's brought to you today by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic and the Bennington State Bank.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
For a free personal protection review, contact Shelter Agent Cale Sharp in Salina.
Take the next step in your career with an MBA from Kansas Wesleyan and the Saline County MBA Scholarship. This opportunity is valid for anyone living or working in Saline County and is good for $100 off per MBA credit hour, lowering the total cost for tuition to under $12,000. Don't wait. Learn more today at kwu.edu/MBA. That's kwu.edu/MBA.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Rock Chalk Park. We are just about ready to go for the Class 3A state semifinals here at State Softball. Tyler Henry alongside you. Anthony Georges joining us here today in the booth. Brian Dennett producing, engineering, and running our camera from the well in center field. So glad you decided to spend your morning with us. A rare 11 a.m. start for two of the best teams in the state of Kansas. And we truly are down to a Final Four where it feels like every single one of these teams is more than capable of walking out of here with a state title. Southeast of Saline, of course, they are the 1 seed, 25-1. They're on a 22-game winning streak. They have a plus 202 run differential on the year. Maybe more impressively, Anthony, has been pitching and defense for this team. We'll talk plenty about Carly Zerflu, but this is a squad that on the season has allowed 37 total runs in a span of 26 games. Carly Zerflu has given up 5 earned runs on the year in 101 innings pitched. So she's the ace they're going to lean on, and that defense backing her up has been stellar this season.
Absolutely unbelievable just what they've been able to do out in the field, especially in the circle. But you put on top of that the ability to get on base, the on-base percentage above 460 for the team overall, and then the aggression on the base pass with all the stolen bases. Certainly going to be a tall task for Jeff West here today as Southeast of Saline is the 1 seed. But Jeff West for the Tigers, 33 minutes. Longest commute of the season, though, for Southeast of Saline, over 2 hours away.
And this is a Jeff West team that comes in. They're the 5 seed today. You look at their numbers on the year, and they've been winning close games here in the postseason. It was a 2-1 win over Oskaloosa in the regional semifinals. Then they squeaked by Nemaha Central 3-2 in the regional championship game, and then dethroned 3A Royalty. That's a Frontenac squad that had won 3 of the last 4 state titles, and overall they had won back-to-back. So, Anthony, we're going to have a new queen of Class 3A. Will it be Southeast? Will it be Jeff West? Or, on the other side, Silver Lake and Haven. Boy, you really can't go wrong with any of these 4 teams, all of them excellent coming into these last 2 games.
You're exactly right, and what a beautiful place to play state softball at here at Rock Chalk Park here in Lawrence, University of Kansas. We're just about ready to go, Tyler. It's the 1 and the 5 here in the semifinals.
And let's meet the starting lineup for Jefferson West. The Lady Tigers will lead it off with the second baseman, Emmy Dean. She'll be followed in the lineup by center fielder Jocelyn Sutton, then catcher Taryn Taylor. As the first pitch of the day is lifted out to right field, Annabelle Soul drifts over and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Batting in the 4-hole today is shortstop Harriet Dean. She'll be followed by left fielder Bristol Harper, then third baseman Megan Malone, starting pitcher Addie Schwinn, DP Reese Stowe, and right fielder Ashley Mosier in the 9-hole today for Jefferson West. Lennox Dooley is your flex today as, it's a bunt single for Jocelyn Sutton. And for all the speed that we talk about with Southeast of Saline, this is a team equally capable of laying down a good bunt there. That was played well by Southeast, but not quite quick enough to record the out at first. And Sutton is aboard here for Taryn Taylor. This whole lineup is going to have to contend today with Carly Zerflew, the junior, making the 18th appearance of her season. All 18 have been starts. As first pitch swinging, that's ruled a strike here on Taryn Taylor. Zerflew's numbers are ridiculous. A 17-0 record, a 0.35 ERA, a 0.72 whip, 143 strikeouts to just 25 walks, 7 hit batters. Opponents are hitting just 138 this year off of Carly Zerflew. Another ball popped up, drifting near the line. That's Hannah Teal, and she will glove it for the second out of the inning. And let's quickly take you around the horn for Southeast of Saline as Harriet Dean steps up to the plate. Behind the dish, it's the lone senior, Riley Donnelly. Hannah Teal over at first, Veda Durfee at second, Reese Heinrich at short, Ashley Welchel tending to the hot corner at third today. Out in left, it's Madeline McFadden, then Kaya Samuelson in center, and Annabelle Soul in right. And that one, I assume, got a little bit away from Zerflew. They'll try to back pick down the line. That's not nearly in time to get Jocelyn Sutton. So after all the introductions are done, Anthony, we are officially into this game. And, boy, we're expecting, I think, one of the best matchups in all of 3A this year, playoff, regular season, or otherwise.
We certainly are very warm today as well. We'll get to the conditions here in just a second. 82 degrees here this morning, I should say. Just 11 o'clock here in the top of the first inning. 82 degrees. Not a whole lot of wind. 10-mile-an-hour wind out of the east. Very humid, though, here this morning down on the field. And
temperatures kind of playing back and forth. We saw some really cool temperatures last week. It felt like borderline fall, maybe even, late winter type of weather. But it's really warmed up. It's starting to feel like summer. Another pitch misses just outside. The count goes to 3-0 here. Carly Zerflew back in the circle to face Harriet Dean. Dean's been great in her junior campaign. She bats .418, slugs .659 on the season. And it's a 4-pitch walk. Donnelly will go back and grab it, and Harriet Dean is aboard. So 2 runners on, 2 runners out. And Bristol Harper coming to bat here, a great early opportunity for Jefferson West.
You want to know one of the interesting things to me is, this is the state semifinals. Both teams have already won one game, but it's the nerves again, right? It's a new facility. This is the first year of the new format. You play at a neutral site. They were in their hometown of Salina just the other day, and so now you're at the University of Kansas softball complex. Nerves for sure.
It's interesting as well, with Carly Zerflew, we've seen she has gotten off to shaky starts in the last 3 games, but she always finds a way to settle in. And once she gets out of that first inning, you really kind of see her lock in and get to her best stuff. She let the bases get loaded and then gave up 2 runs against Wichita Trinity. She had runners at second and third against Lakin. But once she records those first 3 outs, she really does find that extra gear, and they're going to need her to do that today. You've got Jefferson West in the all-black jerseys, white pinstripes with the white numerals trimmed in red. For Southeast of Saline, they've got the home whites with the purple pinstripes, purple numerals trimmed in white for Southeast. 1-1, a big cut for Bristol Harper. She will send it back to the screen, and the count goes to 1-2.
Here are the dimensions of the ballpark. Out to left field, 200. Straightaway center is 220. We'll say hi to Brian out there in center, and then 200 to right field as well.
And you got to think that plays to the advantage of Jefferson West. Southeast of Saline has relied on it and at times leaned into the fact that they play at a big ballpark. We talked with Coach Tyler Smith before the game. He said, hey, if we had our choice, we'd play this game at the Polo Grounds. They are not a team that hits for power. They are a team that utilizes the speed, and we'll see how the short fences play one way or the other today. Zerflu's 2-2 delivery, swing and a miss. Bristol Harper down on strikes. It's the first K of the day for Carly Zerflu, and we are scoreless as we head to the home half of inning number 1. You are watching state softball tournament action. It's the semifinal round from Rock Chalk Park in Lawrence, and you're watching today courtesy of Bennington State Bank and Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic.
At Maury Clinic Sports Medicine, we are available when you need us most. I'm Dr. Andrew Westbrook, and I am the sports medicine physician at Maury Clinic. I see patients of all ages and help them come back stronger than ever. From broken bones to joint pain, my team and I are committed to help you do more. For those with sports injuries, come see us at our sports medicine walk-in clinic Monday and Thursday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. Prevent, recover, and strengthen so you can perform your best. Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Make your move with confidence.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Park. Tyler Henry alongside you. Brian Dennett producing and engineering for us today. Anthony Georges in the booth. Good to have you alongside here. And glad that you decided to spend your morning here with us. If you're tuning in on YouTube, Salina Post, tune in. We're glad that you're here as we are getting into a very good softball matchup. They bring their bats up here. Reese Heinrich, the shortstop, to lead it off, and the first pitch is down and away to Heinrich. And you see the corners already so far prepared for a potential bunt for Heinrich. Heinrich will be followed in the lineup by center fielder Kaya Samuelson. Right fielder Annabelle Soul, starting catcher Riley Donnelly in the cleanup spot today. Batting fifth, it's the third baseman Ashley Welchel, then second baseman Veda Durfee, first baseman Hannah Teal, DP Peyton Merrill, and left fielder Madeline McFadden brings up the caboose of the Southeast lineup as the count goes to 1-1 here on Reese Heinrich.
Trojans averaging 9 runs a game, .468 on-base percentage for Southeast of Saline, and a .362 team batting average.
Yeah, they've been ridiculous across the board, and the count now goes to 3-1 on Heinrich. For as good as Heinrich has been swinging the bat, we've seen pitchers get a little antsy about her speed, and she has been walked to lead off the majority of the games we've covered for Southeast of Saline this season. It's kind of a wild phenomenon, and it's going to happen again here. Reese Heinrich will take her base. And before we get into the pitching numbers, we have to remind you that Heinrich is one of the most dangerous base runners in the state of Kansas. 47 stolen bases. You can fully expect that she is going to be running, and we'll see as coming to bat now is Kaya Samuelson. I would be shocked if she doesn't run on the first pitch, and there she goes. Throw down to second is, boy, it's a good throw, but it's not nearly in time. Heinrich is just too fast, and every time you walk her, you just gave up a double. So Southeast will stop and reset with a runner in scoring position. Let's introduce a senior in the circle. This is the first season that she has pitched at the varsity level, as she was called up at the beginning of year to Jefferson West, but one of them was their starter. This season, Schwinn, in a similar sample size, has tossed 106 2/3 innings, as this one is bunt. Schwinn 13-3 on the year, a 2.03 ERA, a 0.96 WHIP. Her numbers have been stellar. 122 strikeouts to 28 walks, and opposing hitting is batting just 186 on average against Addie Schwinn.
Jefferson West is 22-6 on the season. We'll get to their couple of losses here in just a second.
Samuelson squaring to bunt, and we'll see how quickly Southeast manages to start putting the pressure on Jeff West defensively. That is certainly something that we've seen them do a ton of this year. If you get Reese Heinrich on with nobody out, that is typically a recipe for success, and Samuelson has been the one to drive her in plenty of times this year. She squares to bunt, pulls it back, and takes a pitch that looked close to the zone, but I did not see a strike call, and the count goes to 3-1. So a dream setup here for Kaya Samuelson. She's got the ideal hitter's count. As cloud coverage starts to drift in over Rock Chalk Park. The 3-1, she gets a bunt down. It's a beauty, and they are turning to third. I'm a little surprised that Dean didn't try to record the out at first, and Kaya Samuelson with a bunt single will put runners at the corners with nobody out for Annabelle Soul.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Certainly a questionable thought process there by the first baseman, Dooley. I mean, charging in, obviously already playing in, showing bunt a couple of pitches, but, I mean, they had to play it first. Second baseman there was to cover was Dean, but how about that? First and third, nobody out.
31 stolen bases for Samuelson, 32 stolen bases for Samuelson as she slides up and takes second there. And now if you're Southeast, I mean, this is the ideal scenario. You've got 2 runners in scoring position, nobody out, and the heart of your lineup here with Annabelle Soul. Corners playing in. Soul takes up and away. The count goes to 1-1. You wonder if the nerves are there for Schwinn as well. Remember, this is not a situation she's used to being in. Addie Schwinn, this is the first, and it will be the last season for her as the starting pitcher for this Jeff West team, and she misses upstairs again, and already a bit of a jam to try to pitch herself out of, Anthony.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, she's missing high almost every time, and credit to Southeast of Saline. They've got their own nerves to deal with, but they are just sitting there going to wait for her to throw a strike, not going to chase anything.
Soul has been great this season from the 3-hole. The 2-1 lifted up. This one will stay on the infield as Dean chases it back and makes the catch. Throws down to third, and that will be the first out of the inning. And with that, let's go ahead and take you around the horn here defensively for Jefferson West. Taylor gets the start behind the desk. It'll be Dooley over at first, and then you've got the sisters tending to the middle of the field with the Dean sisters at second and short, respectively. Malone over at third, Harper in left, Sutton in center, and Mosier out in right. Riley Donnelly squares to bunt. She will pull it back. And, boy, what a momentum shifter this could be if they could find a way to get out of this inning unscathed.
No doubt. It'd be a heck of a recovery here by Schwinn. Already thrown 14 pitches, just the 1 out. Runners at second and third. A base hit most likely would score 2.
Next offering on the way, and this one, another infield pop out. And that's 2 very quick outs. That is exactly what Jefferson West wanted, and it's going to fall to Ashley Welchel to try to bring in the game's first run. This time of year, you don't know how many opportunities like this you're going to get. Welchel, first pitch, she is swinging, takes it into center field, but a diving catch for Sutton will keep 2 runs off the board, and all you can do is tip your cap. What a play. Sutton sliding to her knees, makes the catch, and both teams escape the first inning without giving up a run. We'll step away. We're back with more semifinal action when we return. Coverage today presented by Bennington State Bank and Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic.
At Maury,
The Bennington State Bank proudly supports local sports and wants each student to know that their hard work and talent is noticed and appreciated. At Bennington State Bank, they care about local communities and are committed to fostering long-term relationships through the delivery of excellent customer service, integrity, and fairness. From helping local businesses to supporting community youth and nonprofits to helping you purchase your dream home or invest in your future, Bennington State Bank is here to help. Give them a call to experience exceptional banking with hometown service. Bennington State Bank, your trusted hometown bank. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Park. Tyler Henry and Anthony Georges alongside you. Still scoreless as we go to the second inning. Want to remind you that you can take 15% off of all monuments through the end of May at Rose Lawn Monuments. And we also want to throw a very special shout out to the good folks at Hire Scott Mortuary for helping bring you coverage of today's game. Boy, both sides got an opportunity, Anthony, early on. Southeast left runners at second and third. Jeff West left runners at first and second. And you feel like in a game like this, getting 1 or 2 of those kinds of runs across could very well be the difference when all is said and done.
You're exactly right, especially for the Trojans, the home team. In the bottom of the first, you get out of the top of the first, and then you've got runners at second and third, nobody out, and then ultimately a couple of great defensive plays there out in the field by the Tigers.
Megan Malone, Addison Schwinn, and Reese Stowe to lead off the second for Jefferson West. This is a team that certainly does have good power numbers. 13 home runs for them this year, 174 RBI. It's a different style of softball than what Southeast plays, but they are capable of playing small ball when they need to. Of course, the Lady Trojans are led by Tyler Smith in his second year. He's assisted by Kenny Waldman and Stephanie Metlin. On the other side, another second-year head coach in Maddie Barger, who's assisted by Clay Mayer and Todd Hahn. This ball, it's shallow, and it's caught by Welchel for the first out of the inning. And Anthony, looking at the state history for these two teams, Jefferson West snapped a 10-season drought of not going to state last year. They lost in the quarterfinals. They're back here this year. They have 1 state title in their school history. It came back in 2015. And you want to know who one of the best players on that team was? It was Maddie Barger, who's now coaching this team.
How about that to set the culture and bring them back to the promised land? Back-to-back years at state, like you said, they won it all back 10 years ago, and she certainly has them right back in the promised land back in the second year.
Addie Schwinn at the plate, her first AB of the day, and she'll cut through a pitch that moves outside. And I had a chance to talk with Coach Barger. Both coaches very nice to give us some of their time this week. Obviously, every media outlet probably reaching out for an interview or two, but You know, talking with her, she said Carly Zerflu, she might not have the most velocity in the world, and that's true, but her movement has been absolutely disgusting this year. One of the numbers we didn't give, in 101 innings this season, Anthony, she's given up 5 earned runs.
Just unreal. And you can see why. Her accuracy to different parts of the plate is just ideal. And obviously part of a great pitcher is a great catcher too. And the catcher here, Donnelly, has done a great job framing the corners here early on as well.
Yeah, Riley Donnelly has been phenomenal. No stride mat to worry about today for Carly Zerflu. She is out there on the natural dirt surface here at Rock Chalk Park and pulls the string on 2-2. Addie Schwinn is down on strikes, and it's 2 gone for Southeast of Saline as Reese Stowe comes to bat. That changeup has been filthy this year. If you're sitting on it, you're probably going to hit the school bus behind left field, but if you're not, you look like that, and it's set the second out of the inning.
Just whiffed on it big time. 145 strikeouts now on the season for Zerflu.
Reese Stowe at the plate, the DP here for Jefferson West. We should probably talk about how Southeast of Saline got here. A 16-0 win in the quarterfinals over Harrington, a 6-0 shutout win over Heston, as the next offering misses low and inside. Then they played, I would say, genuinely one of the 3, maybe 4 best teams in the state in Wichita Trinity. That game could have been for the state championship. They beat Wichita Trinity 3-2. They came to state. They beat Lakin 7-0. And you notice in that mix there, Anthony, 4 playoff games for SES, 3 shutouts for Carly Zerflu.
Yeah, just you can get runs to the floor no matter, this team is so good hitting the ball. They're 468 on base percentage. They're stealing 93% success rate. But you don't really got to get too much run support when your pitcher is dealing in the circle.
3-0 in there for a strike. Taking all the way was Reese Stowe. And I do want to give a little credit to Hannah Teal. She pitched the perfect game against Harrington. She got her last appearance of the season in that 16-0 win. But Zerflu has gone the rest of the way. They'll ride her arm as far as she can take them. The 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Ball tipped back into the mitt of Donnelly. And you see Zerflu fight her way back in the count after getting down 3-0.
One of the things, too, that I appreciate is how quickly she worked. She got it, walked to the back of the circle while time was called, and now she's already ready to go as the batter steps in.
Payoff pitch, low and inside for ball 4. It's the second walk of the day, and it'll give Jefferson West a base runner here with 2 gone for Ashley Mosier. And you talk about Zerflu not messing around. If you ever watch her come out to warm up, I had to learn my lesson. You can only play 1 commercial per break because she comes out, she throws 1 warm-up pitch, she looks at the batter, she says, hey, get in the box.
Efficiency, right? That's exactly what Coach wants.
9-hole hitter Ashley Mosier at the plate. Mosier, not your typical 9-hole. As you look at her numbers on the year, the senior batting .277, gets on base at a .341 clip. 23 hits, 6 doubles. Good pop in her bat, and she is trying to bring in a runner, at the very least keep the inning rolling. Here she lays down a beauty of a bunt. Coming in is Welch will throw to first, is in time, and Southeast of Saline will strand another Lady Tiger as they go to the bottom of the second. We're still scoreless in the state semifinals. Coverage today brought to you by Bennington State Bank and by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
For a free personal protection review, contact Shelter Agent Cale Sharp in Salina.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Park as we pick up the action here in the bottom of the second. Still scoreless in this state semifinal game. I want to thank a few folks for helping bring you coverage of today's game, including Dr. Andrew Westbrook, sports medicine physician at Maury Clinic, and proud to support Southeast of Saline. Dr. Westbrook wants to say, go Trojans. We also want to thank Aeroplanes. Go check out the furnished model homes featuring 3 different floor plans. Open every Sunday for an open house from 1 to 3. Brand new homes start at just $219,000. See the map and find more details at aeroplanesks.com. That's AEROPLAINSKS.com. Veda Durfee, Hannah Teal, and Peyton Merrill to lead off the inning here for Southeast of Saline. Boy, you would have thought they would have gotten a run in the bottom of the first, Anthony. They got Heinrich aboard. They got Samuelson on. They had 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out, but a couple of infield pop-outs, and then a beauty of a play by Sutton out in center. Keep the runs off the board.
Just a diving catch out there in straightaway center on the KU Jayhawk logo right behind the second base bag. It's certainly a highlight-worthy play here in the first inning. Now we're in the bottom of the second. I wanted to mention this, Tyler. You talked about the path to state, and that was including going through Wichita Trinity, and that was a couple of inside-the-park home runs that game.
Southeast of Saline this year, they're not a power-hitting team by any stretch of the imagination, as the first 3 pitches to Durfee all miss outside the zone. But you look at their numbers this year, they have 7 home runs. Only 2 of them have cleared the fence. And both of those, funny enough, were hit by Carly Zerflew. We got to talk about Zerflew, right? She bats .308. She slugs .692. She has 3 of the team's 7 home runs. 12 RBI this year, 8 hits. But they just want to let her focus on pitching. That's been the case throughout the majority of the season. If she's pitching, she's not in the lineup. So arguably the 5th, maybe the 6th best bat, not even hitting here at State.
Which is certainly crazy, but it also was a huge testament.
Payoff pitch called strike 3. Veda Durfee down on strikes to bring up Hannah Teal.
It also was a huge testament, though, just to how great the rest of the team is batting. .362 batting average, .468 on-base percentage, and this team doesn't strike out a lot.
No, and that's really one of the big differences between these two squads, as Hannah Teal, who had a double and a triple in the quarterfinal game against Lakin, comes to bat. Southeast of Saline this year, 106 walks to 73 strikeouts as a lineup. Those numbers basically flip for Jefferson West, 68 walks to 129 strikeouts, but boy, I don't know if something has switched here for Schwinn, but she is dealing after fighting back for the Veda Durfee strikeout. She's got Hannah Teal down 0-2. And Teal goes golfing at the 0-2 pitch. The throw down to first is in time, and it's back-to-back strikeouts for Addie Schwinn to start things off here in the second.
Well, I think the Southeast of Saline folks certainly are not appreciating my presence so far, because I talked about how patient they were at the plate, and then back-to-back pitches were popped up in the infield, and then I talked about the strikeouts, and we have back-to-back strikeouts. So far I have not brought in good karma for the Trojans.
The only difference between the 3 wins in this game so far is you. And I fear if they get down by the 4th or 5th inning, we may have to ask you to leave.
Hey, I was covering Chapman for Salina Post this week as well, and they made it to state, and unfortunately weren't able to bring it across in the state quarterfinals, but I don't think I'm too much of a bad luck charm, at least not yet.
No. It is worth noting, this is the final team from our area still playing. We had 20 teams, 10 baseball, 10 softball, start the path through regionals, and this is the last team still alive. What a snag by Tyler Smith down there in the third base box, and boy, he makes it look casual over there. But yeah, 19 teams down, 1 team left to go. Southeast of Saline softball, the only squad from our area with a chance to make it through the state tournament, and they will have to wait. Boy, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. It's back-to-back-to-back strikeouts here for Addie Schwinn. Southeast is down in order. Still scoreless as we go to the third. You're watching softball state coverage. It's the semifinal round. It's brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Mallory Clinic and by the good folks at Bennington State Bank.
Take the next step in your career with an MBA from Kansas Wesleyan and the Saline County MBA Scholarship. This opportunity is valid for anyone living or working in Saline County and is good for $100 off per MBA credit hour, lowering the total cost for tuition to under $12,000. Don't wait. Learn more today at kwu.edu/MBA. That's kwu.edu/MBA.
Back to state softball action, and as we pick things up here in the third, it'll be the top of the lineup to lead it off for Jefferson West. Hey, I want to thank GeoProbe for helping bring us coverage of today's game. They're locally owned and globally known. GeoProbe Systems turns Kansas craftsmanship into world-class drilling technology. If variety, challenge, and teamwork drive you, apply today at geoprobe.com/jobs, supporting Southeast of Saline softball. Well, Anthony, it looks like both pitchers have settled in. It was a quick 4-up, 3-down inning for Southeast in the field, and then Jefferson West, well, back-to-back-to-back strikeouts there in their half of the frame. This could be, for better or worse, a very quick game here in Lawrence.
It certainly could. Here's something to monitor, though, in that last break as you were coming back. The starting pitcher here, Carly Zerflew, she was having some trouble in terms of finding footing. They brought Teal over to try and maybe even out the ground in front. She missed high twice, and she walked around the circle a couple of times, so we'll see if she can find the zone. But she was certainly struggling on the front part of that ledge.
Yeah, she misses up and away here. It is kind of an unconventional delivery that Carly Zerflew has, and back during the regional round, Southeast had a stride mat out there in the circle, and she was struggling a little bit with that. It's the motion that she has, and it's her footing, as you mentioned a moment ago. So her first 2 pitches here both miss high. And the count starts off at 2-0 here on Emmy Dean. It'll be Emmy Dean, Jocelyn Sutton, and Taryn Taylor to lead off the third for the Jefferson West Lady Tigers. And a pretty good contingent that's come out to watch this game, despite it being a work day here on Wednesday. That pitch is across for a strike, and the count goes to 2-1. No, sorry, 3-0.
So it was Ashley Mosier and Emmy Dean that brought in the game-winning runs in the 8th inning against Frontenac back on Monday.
Here, it's a 4-pitch walk to Emmy Dean. And that is exactly what Jefferson West wanted, as they've got the leadoff runner aboard and nobody out for Jocelyn Sutton. And we'll see how aggressive they want to get. They don't steal nearly as many bases as Southeast of Saline, but they do have very good speed. And for what it's worth, Emmy Dean this season has 6 of those stolen bases. Here she's a bit off the bag, and she is going to go ahead and slide up as that one gets by Donnelly by just a little bit.
For Jefferson West, the Tigers, I mentioned they're 22-6 on the season. Very good quality losses. 2 losses to Rossville, swept in the beginning of the season. Rossville qualified for state. They were swept by Silver Lake. Silver Lake still playing here in 3A state as well.
And one of those other losses came to Tonganoxie. Not bad to lose to a 4A school, regardless of who that might be. Strike in there. Whatever was going on that first batter, Zerflu seems to have figured it out as she has settled in here. We had 3 teams from our area qualify for state. Of course, Chapman fell in their opening round game against Rock Creek 4-1 on Monday, and Salina Central fell to Great Bend 5-1 yesterday in the 5A baseball tournament. Here's a ball hit to Durfee. She will pick it up and flips to first, and no, they're going to say safe over there at first. Jocelyn Sutton has amazing speed, but it looked like they got her, Anthony. What'd you see on that play?
Well, it looked like the second baseman, Durfee, bobbled it a little bit, and it was close. I thought she was out on initial glance, but the umpire said tie goes to the runner.
Jocelyn Sutton likely not going to be long for first. She leads the team with 11 stolen bases. I cannot imagine she will stay put over there at first base as Taryn Taylor is up to bat. She squares to bunt, gets it down. It's scooped up here by Welch. A runner coming to the plate, throw home, not in time, and turning to take third is Jocelyn Sutton. So an RBI sac bunt for Taryn Taylor brings in Emmy Dean. It gets Jefferson West on the board, and the Lady Tigers lead it 1-0 to start this game.
Welch did a good job charging in, playing in once again here in the corner. Is probably potentially ready for potentially another one with very good speed. But you like she checked the runner. You like the idea to get the out at first. It's a little bit late on getting the throw home.
Now you got the cleanup hitter and Harriet Dean at the plate. First pitch misses up and away. And in all the games that we've covered for Southeast of Saline, I personally cannot remember another time other than Wichita Trinity where they trailed at any point. I mean, Southeast has been dominating teams throughout the majority of the season. They'll have to play from behind it today. This ball is skied up. It'll find its way back here into the stands at Rock Chalk Park. And boy, it's a beauty, Anthony. I mean, it's just great to be out here. It's a very well-maintained facility, and you can tell that the good folks in Lawrence have put a lot into this place.
They certainly have. Out in left field, the parking lot. Look out for the buses if we get one hit out of here straight away. Some beautiful facilities back there, and then the great KU Jayhawk building just to the right.
This ball comes up. The runner takes off, and she is going to be out by a country mile. That was something. I mean, Jocelyn Sutton, I understand the impulse. And yes, there is padding back there. I think that hit something solid, but there is not that much of a run between home plate and the backstop, and that thing went behind clean. That's a huge out for Southeast. Pitch to Harriet Dean off speed, strike 3, and Southeast will get themselves out of the top of the third, but not before one run comes in to score for Jefferson West on a Taryn Taylor sacrifice bunt. We'll take a break. We're back with the home half of inning number 3 when we return. You're watching the state softball tournament. It's brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Sports Clinic and the Bennington State Bank.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
Back to state softball action here at Rock Chalk Park in Lawrence, Kansas. It's a 1-0 game as Jefferson West has scored the first run here of this one. I want to thank Cale Sharp at Shelter Insurance. Be sure to go visit Cale at his new location at 901 East Prescott in Salina. Cale Sharp at Shelter Insurance, proudly sponsoring Southeast of Saline softball here today. It's Madeline McFadden, Reese Heinrich, and Kaya Samuelson to lead off the inning, and for SES, trying to get another runner aboard with nobody out is big. Talking with Coach Barger, she said the biggest key to today's game, you could argue it's her new image audio key to the game, get the first out of every single inning and get it before Southeast puts anybody on base. Since that first inning, so far so good for Jeff West.
Yeah, struck out the side back in the second, and I want to go back to the end of that inning for a second. That was a huge play by the catcher, Donnelly. That is an early potential for our smart play of the game.
Certainly could be. McFadden here facing an 0-2 count. Schwinn has really buckled down, and she's recorded 6 straight outs. Here, though, it's fought off by McFadden. McFadden's been great from the 9-hole this year for Southeast of Saline. The sophomore batting .359, slugging .410, but she gets on base more than half the time this year, and her patience a big part of that. 12 walks to 12 stolen bases this season for Maddie McFadden. Here, though, she gets caught chasing outside. They will have to check it down to first, and it's in time. So 4 straight strikeouts here for Addie Schwinn, and she will face the top of the lineup once again. She is really starting to feel it out there in the circle.
Took a little while to get settled in. Southeast of Saline got their first runner on. Heinrich with a walk back in the first, and then had runners at second and third, nobody out, but since then, not a base runner.
Reese Heinrich trying to start the party. First pitch to her, misses high and away. We didn't even get into Heinrich's batting stats. By the way, she's only a sophomore. How about batting .471, getting on base at a .606 average and slugging .691 on the year. Takes the first 2 pitches outside the zone as it starts off at 2-0 here. For Heinrich this year, 32 hits, 4 doubles, 4 triples, a home run, 29 RBI, and now 48 stolen bases. 2-0 the count. Schwinn brings it home. It's now 3-0. I understand that Heinrich does not have the biggest strike zone, but I have been baffled at how they have pitched around her all throughout the playoffs. Big 3-0 pitch here. That one right down Main Street for strike 1, and the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike here.
And it's always commendable, too, to the hitter. I mean, that great of a batting average and on-base percentage to be able to be patient just to sit and wait for one to come.
3-1 up the middle. That's going to be a base knock for Reese Heinrich, who is aboard. It may look like a single, but in just a moment, it'll probably be a double, and Heinrich is in with the first base runner since back in the first inning, and that's what Southeast needs. This top of the lineup, if you were to build a machine in a factory to score 1, maybe 2 runs in an inning, it's the top 4 in this lineup. Heinrich, Samuelson, Soul, and Donnelly. We have seen time and time again. You get them on, you get them over, and you get them in. They don't always play for multiple runs in an inning, but sometimes they don't have to. Runner goes to second. It was a really late jump, and for the first time this year that I've seen, Reese Heinrich is thrown out at second base. She got a late jump there, Anthony, and boy, that's a really good throw from Taylor to get her.
It is, and it's a great stick by Dean as well. Harriet Dean, shortstop, charging over in front of the bag, makes the catch, lays the tag, and a nice slide in there by Heinrich. But again, like you said, first time all year caught stolen, and you got to tip the cap there to Taylor. I mean, first catcher all year to do that.
So Kaya Samuelson now batting with the bases empty and 2 gone. As we are already in the 3rd inning, she will take a cut, comes up empty, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. You got to think, too, the gaps are a little more narrow here. You mentioned the dimensions earlier, 200 to the corners, 220 to straightaway center. So a little bit less space for the ball to roll and for Southeast to run, although they haven't put anything in a gap today. Matter of fact, that was their first ball put in play that left the infield aside from that L8 back in the first.
Samuelson had that bunt, the sacrifice bunt like you're talking about, but like you said, that hit from Heinrich was right up the middle, and is certainly going to have to get something going here. 40 pitches for Addie Schwinn, and nobody on right now in the 3rd.
2-1 offering, flare shot out to right, charging in is Mosier. It's under her glove. There goes Kaya Samuelson. She is going to turn the corner, but she holds up at second, has to get back. They almost got her, but Samuelson able to stay in there safely at second. Give her credit for a hustle double. And there is a runner in scoring position here for Annabelle Soul with 2 gone in the 3rd.
I see that aggressive base running you're talking about. Coach Tyler Smith was waving his arm, trying to get her to round second and go to 3rd, but she held up, and then the throw to second was close. But there's that aggression like you're talking about, trying to get the extra 60 feet when you can.
Southeast trying to tie the game, and that might do it. Mosier is charging in, picks it up. Here comes Samuelson. Throw to the plate. Down is Samuelson. She's safe. Runner going to second. She might be out, and she is. But Southeast of Saline is going to tie the game as Kaya Samuelson comes in to score on an Annabelle Soul single. It's a 1-1 ball game as we go to the 4th. SES evens it up We'll be back with more when we return. It's coverage of the state semifinals from Lawrence here at Rock Chalk Park.
A smooth ride and safe handling start with a strong suspension. At Commercial Tire Center in Salina, our team provides expert suspension maintenance and repair for both automotive and diesel vehicles. From shocks, struts, and steering to full mechanical service, our certified technicians help extend tire life and keep your vehicle road ready. Whether it's your everyday car or a hardworking diesel truck, count on Commercial Tire Center to keep you moving.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
Well, Southeast aggressive base running giveth, and Southeast aggressive base running taketh away. And that will bring us here. Oh, we got some fans motioning down. They're still working on the scoreboard here. Rest assured, it is a 1-1 ball game as we head here to the fourth inning. But, yeah, you see it there in action, right, Anthony? It's an RBI single. She tries to stretch it to a double. Yes, she brings in the runner, but ultimately a good throw gets her at second, and it's still a 1-1 game here as we go to inning number 4.
I think overall, if you're Southeast, you feel relieved. Like you said, they haven't trailed much at all this season. They're finally able to get a couple of hits, and the aggression on the base pass does pay off for the run. Close play at the plate, and then a nice throw down to second by the catcher. But you take a deep breath, you reset, you're back even at 1-1, and now you got your ace, Carly Zerflew, back on the mound.
Bristol Harper, Megan Malone, and Addison Schwinn to lead off the fourth inning here for Jefferson West. The first pitch misses up and in. Couple of things that I want to pass along that Coach Parker told me when we had a chance to chat with her earlier today, and those are as follows. First of all, I said, you talk about a Southeast team that likes to put pressure on. How do you feel about the defense that you've got? As Zerflew stumbles coming in to make the catches, Teal. And Zerflew appears to be none the worse for wear. So an awkward play down there, but it is one gone, and it brings up Megan Malone. But I said, you've got a team that likes to put the pressure on. They like to run really aggressively. How do you feel about that? And she said, we trust our defense. She really does believe that her team is kind of uniquely suited to deal with situations like this.
And now this is where it gets interesting, because I told you a couple of times ago she was struggling with her landing spot, and you're seeing right in front of the circle there's a lot of divots from where they've been moving around, bunts and stuff like that, charging in, throwing over to first. She went down. You saw it, and that Coach Smith come out to check on her a second ago, but she appears to be okay, and she's going to reset. But it's certainly going to probably be in the mind as she goes to throw a few practice pitches here if they let her, and I don't think they're going to let her.
Well, and she honestly might not want to. I mean, just knowing Carly Zerflew, she wants to get back out there. But, yeah, it is one of the hazards of playing with the all-dirt surface here at Rock Chalk Park. Obviously, we love the natural surface out there, but it can cause little things like that here and there. So Zerflew is back in the circle. Megan Malone is up at the plate. And this is a Jefferson West team that it's kind of a unique situation for them, too, because they got down in both the game against Oskaloosa and the game against Nemaha Central, and the game against Frontenac. So their last 3 games, they've come from behind to win. Here it's all even 1-1. And Megan Malone will take a pitch into left field. That gets past the glove of Heinrich. And it's a 1-out single for Megan Malone. Jefferson West in business here for Addie Schwinn, who's got a case to help her own cause from her spot in the circle.
Both teams now with 3 official hits, and then both teams with the run. So far clean, no errors for either side.
And I hate to say it, but one of the biggest differences has been the walks. Already 3 free passes issued by Zerflew, and one of those was Emmy Dean, who came in to score Jefferson West's lone run of the day. Good pitch here. That one in for a strike. Addie Schwinn, we've talked about her numbers in the circle. Schwinn, a senior, batting .318, slugging .477, 28 hits, 15 RBI. She has also struck out 25 times to 8 walks, so she has been susceptible to that strikeout pitch. And Zerflew did get her the first time. She's out ahead of her here 0-2.
How about the catch by the fan over here? First base side, didn't move from his chair, put his hand up and caught it. How about that?
Seen a couple of those throughout this playoffs. Everybody bringing their best A game to the ballpark, even if it is from the crowd. 0-2 the count. We'll see if Zerflew throws a waste pitch here. It's a soft grounder. Welchel picks it up, goes the short way to second. Southeast trying to turn 2. They will not. But a fielder's choice records the second out, and it brings Reese Stowe to the plate. The last chance here for Jeff West to reclaim the lead in the 4th.
Gotta love the snow cone on the 5-4 put out there. Welchel threw over to Durfee, and she just snow coned it with the top of the glove. The softball was actually still hanging out, but she squeezed it for the out. The relay to first not in time, but still a nice job getting the put out on the fielder's choice.
So a fresh count to work with. Reese Stowe swings through the first pitch that she sees. She reached on a walk and was stranded at first back in the second inning. Ironically, while this is an amazing facility to be at, Southeast's crowd might have shrunk a little bit as they played just 20 minutes from home in Salina in the quarterfinal round at Salina South. 0-1 on the way. That'll miss inside. The good news, Anthony, is that if anyone couldn't make it out, they can watch it for free right here on Salina Post. How about that?
No, you're exactly right. We're happy to be here, and we're in the comfy, place hospitality of a press box today after getting a little bit sunburned on Monday.
1-1, that's flared away. Okay, well, Anthony, you say that. You got sunburned on Monday. I got sunburned on Monday, but I put on sunscreen. Did you?
I did not. Then that's on me. But, I'm typically a guy that doesn't burn very well, but I did get a little bit on the forearms. Fortunately for our good friends over in Chapman was not enough to find a way to get a win, though.
Zerflu's 1-2 is fouled off, and that one a little beyond the outstretched arm of an Eagle fan. I will say one thing that has been fun, and it doesn't matter if it's 2.5 to 3 hours away in Republic County or whether it's a home game. This crowd for Southeast, the dedicated ones, the parents, the fans, the teachers, they've been at almost every game. 1-2 gets away from Donnelly. That one a little outside of her catch radius, and it'll allow Addie Schwinn to move up. But man, it's one of my favorite things about covering high school sports. You get to know the parents, you get to know the members of the community that are here every single week, and this means so much to them as it does obviously to the players and coaches out there as well.
That's the best part about high school sports is just the loyalty.
1-2 from Zerflu. It's up high, and it's now 3-2 as the count goes full on Reese Stowe.
How ironic. We talk about loyalty now, and we're in the Division I ballpark, and there's not a lot of loyalty, but you look at both sides. The stands are 3/4 of the way full, and it's 11:30 right in the middle of the week.
Here comes the payoff pitch. It's fouled away. We'll do it again as it finds its way up to the press box. And as you mentioned, the first time that we've had the courtesy of being in a press box this year, not something that we expect, but certainly nice and great to be playing here at, like I said, just an amazing facility here in Lawrence, Kansas. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone. Here comes the payoff pitch, and she got her. Carly Zerflu climbs the ladder and ends the top of the 4th. We're halfway home from this state semifinal game. Coverage is brought to you by Bennington State Bank and Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Sports Clinic.
When the time comes to honor a life, Hire Scott Mortuary in Salina is here with care, compassion, and guidance every step of the way. Celebrate memories, cherish family, and find comfort in tradition. Hire Scott Mortuary, celebrating life, embracing legacy.
New Image Audio is offering ceramic tint. If you're sending your child off to school or your wife on a road trip, ceramic tint offers heat rejection up to 90%, privacy in a college town or in the city, helps keep the wear down on the AC system, making your car easier to cool down. Never worry about your kid locking their keys in their car. With Drone Mobile, you can unlock their car from anywhere. Vehicle breakdown in an unknown area, GPS locating helps roadside service find your loved one quickly with the ability to send the vehicle location directly to the rescue squad. New Image Audio, located at 340 South Broadway. Phone calls welcome.
Back here at Rock Shock Park as we pick up the action in the home half of the 4th. Fans, don't forget to check out the Salina Post Facebook page and at SPost Sports on X all throughout the postseason to see video highlights from around the area, proudly presented by Billings Group. We also want to remind you this presentation is brought to you in part by Kansas Bankers Technologies and Technical Consulting, your partners in secure banking technologies and seamless IT solutions. Riley Donnelly, Ashley Welchel, and Veda Durfee to lead off the inning here. And second time through the order, Anthony, someone else is going to have to step up. So far, the top 3 are the only ones to reach base first time through.
And certainly feel like they're starting to understand what Schwinn has got there in the circle. The last couple have been able to get nice base hits, one out to straightaway center, one to right field, and then another one that made it through as well. So 3 hits just in the last half inning, and certainly hope that can continue on through the middle of the order.
2-0 pitch in for a strike to Donnelly, who this season has put together a very impressive senior campaign. She's the only player for Southeast who will graduate or has graduated already, I believe. She'll take inside, and the count goes to 3-1. But Donnelly this year batting .342, slugging .474, 21 RBI to 26 hits. See how aggressive she wants to be here on 3-1. The pitch comes in. That is high, ball 4. And Riley Donnelly will take her base. And Anthony, I know this is one of the first games you've seen for Southeast of Saline. Normally you say, okay, Riley Donnelly, a catcher over there at first. Don't be fooled by her position. She's got wheels.
17 stolen bases on the season, and as we've seen, wouldn't be surprised if she takes off right here.
Southeast gets the leadoff runner aboard. They squared a bunt here with Ashley Welchel. Welchel every bit as capable of sending one deep. Matter of fact, she nearly drove in 2 runs back in the first inning, but that diving catch out in center from Jocelyn Sutton, who herself is very fast, kept those runs off the board. The first 2 pitches are split here. The count goes to 1-1 on Ashley Welchel, who this season, I don't think I went through her numbers first time through the lineup. A junior batting .426, slugging .632 on the year. 1-1, she'll square to bunt, pulls it back once again, and takes another ball that is just low at the knees.
Both teams with 3 hits, both teams with 1 run, both teams with a terrific play in the field, and both pitchers with 4 strikeouts. Couldn't get any closer right now, and we'll see if the Trojans can strike with 1 on here right in the middle of the order.
Corners playing in, and this one misses high. So 4 times she squared to bunt. The count goes to 3-1. Southeast, I mean, obviously they've got great pop in the back. You mentioned they slugged nearly 500 this year, but when it comes to a situation like this, they're not beyond playing some small ball. Taking high for strike 2 as Welchel, and the count goes full. This is just the second time in this game they've gotten the leadoff runner aboard with nobody out on 3-2. You wonder if they might send Donnelly. They will keep her there, and it's strike 3 called. Ashley Welchel watches it go by. That's a big first out recorded. And it's also the 5th K of the day for Addie Schwinn.
127 strikeouts now in the season. Both pitchers over 125 strikeouts on the year. Unbelievable work in the circle.
That brings up Veda Durfee. Durfee has been a monster. She's only a freshman, but her numbers would indicate otherwise. Batting .393, slugging .557, and that includes the inside the park home run that tied the game against Wichita Trinity. Here she takes the first pitch for a strike and then cuts over a drop ball. And that's the other thing Coach Barger talked to us about. One of the biggest things that Schwinn has worked on and improved this season has been vertical movement on her pitches. That's the rise ball and the drop ball. It's an 0-2 hole for Durfee, who's already 0 for 1 with a strikeout today, trying to get it rolling here for Southeast. She'll take outside. That's a nasty pitch. It starts right in the heart of the plate, and then it drifts outside. That's a great take by Durfee.
Yeah, great plate presence right there. I mean, swung on, missed a very similar pitch, and then watches this one come, just missed the zone.
1-2 the count. Durfee at the plate. Pitch on the way. This one lifted up in the air, coming in from left field to make the catch. And Donnelly was headed for second, but the throw gets by. Donnelly will tag up, and Southeast is very fortunate not to get doubled off there. I don't know what was going through Riley Donnelly's head. I mean, that ball was never going to drop in. It was always Harper's play. And the crazy thing is, well, I mean, had she tagged, there would not have been any throw there at all, but what an odd sequence there as Hannah Teal comes to bat.
Already seen 1 inning end out at second base, nearly just had another.
Teal will foul this one away, and well, that one not quite caught by the fan down the line. They're doing their best today, though. There really is good effort.
You know banana ball?
I do.
That would have been an out earlier in the game, so that's certainly interesting if you never checked it out.
Pitch to Hannah Teal. That's a good-looking pitch, but it does miss a touch high, and the count evens at 1-1.
I don't think these fans need any more enticement to be here. Whether they're catching foul balls for outs or not, they don't care. They just they'd like to see a big base hit right here.
Yeah, the energy is excellent. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one fouled off as well. And a quick note for the viewers watching at home, the fans are here. It is very loud. It's very exciting. We are, however, in an enclosed press box, so if you do notice less crowd sound, that is the reasoning for that. 2-1 the count to Hannah Teal. Pitch on the way. She will ground it. And Tyler Smith, that one gets by him, and he'll clap his hands in frustration. Boy, Tyler Smith just brings a calm energy to this team. And, I mean, you know, every coach kind of inspires their players in a different way. You feel like the players take on the personality of the coach. This is a very cool and collected group for Southeast of Saline. This one is fouled off down low. The count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes here.
So let me ask you a question. You asked this question to Coach Tyler Smith before the game. He says he's maybe a little bit superstitious. One of these games in a row. Are you superstitious?
Very. This one misses inside, and the count goes to 3-2.
Do you think that wears off to some of the players on the team? I'm not very much a superstitious
There
guy.
are some players who are, but I think Coach Smith told us, he brought up a good point. He said, you know, when you win 24 games in a row, there are only so many superstitions you can follow. This is a huge pitch. Payoff coming in. Called strike 3. Hannah Teal watches it go by. It's the 6th strikeout of the day for Addie Schwinn, and it keeps us tied at 1 apiece as we go to the top of the 5th. Coverage of the state semifinals is presented by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Mallory Sports Clinic and by Bennington State Bank.
Salina Surgical Hospital is a high-quality surgical facility with a comfortable and home-like atmosphere. Together with our community's greatest doctors, we are committed to a patient care model where exceptional satisfaction is the norm and every patient feels like they are treated with respect, dignity, and compassion. Salina Surgical Hospital is partially owned by a group of local community-involved physicians. Talk to your doctor about scheduling your next procedure with us. Salina Surgical Hospital. Your voice, your choice.
It'll be the 9-1 and 2-hole hitters to lead off the inning here for Jefferson West. We want to say a special thank you to GeoProbe for helping bring you coverage of today's game. From metal to machine, Team GeoProbe turns ideas into drill rigs used all around the world. Collaborate across departments from prototype to rollout. Variety, trust, and real growth on every build. Come help us build cool things. Apply at geoprobe.com/jobs and go Lady Trojans. Southeast of Saline has had their opportunities here, Anthony. Matter of fact, if I told you, or maybe let's flip this, if you told me that Southeast was going to get their first 2 runners aboard with no outs in the first and 1 runner aboard with no outs in the third, I'd tell you they score 3 runs off of that. They have scored no runs off of that. Their only runs came back in that 3rd inning, and now you see Silver Lake starting to file in here. They'll have the next game against Haven, and they're really the last representation of the old guard. We have not talked about this, Anthony, but in Class 3A since 2015, only 6 teams have won a state title in Class 3A. Frontenac's done it 4 times. Silver Lake has done it 4 times. Riverton did it twice. And then you have a couple of other teams who have scattered in there as well. But for the majority of it, it's been Silver Lake, Frontenac, Riverton, and that's it.
And Silver Lake, they're going to try and keep that history going, but a heck of a 2-seed. Haven coming in here at 27-2 in the next game.
Like I said, I mean, there is no... If Vegas did odds on this tournament, and obviously they don't, it would just be flat all around. I mean, all 4 of these teams, every bit as good as one another. I don't think anybody has any clear advantage in pitching and coaching and hitting, you name it. I mean, this is just a murderer's row of 4 final teams here at state, as Carly Zerflew will start the count at 0-2 here to Ashley Mosier.
You talk about Southeast of Saline kind of blowing through Lakin the other day 7-0 in their quarterfinal game, but that game against Wichita Trinity is huge because it's the first close game they've had in so long, and to have that experience last week is huge in a game like this.
Well, and I'm going to make a statement here as this one misses high. Had Southeast lost that game, Wichita Trinity would absolutely be here right now. I mean, Wichita Trinity, every bit as capable of winning state. That was one of, if not the best regional bracket in the entire state of Kansas, any classification, baseball or softball. 1-2 from Zerflew. She got her. Ashley Mosier down on strikes. It's the 5th strikeout of the day for Carly Zerflew. And it flips things back to the top of the book here with Emmy Dean and Jocelyn Sutton due up. And you feel like Southeast, you got to feel confident as long as you can avoid giving up those free base runners. The walks have really been what has come in and hurt Southeast at times this year.
And the walk is the reason for the one run from Emmy Dean back in the 3rd.
Remember, Southeast started the year with a sweep of Heston, then they beat Clay Center, then they lost to Clay Center, and they haven't lost since. They've won 22 straight coming into this state semifinal as Zerflew rips one across, and the count goes to 1-1 here on Emmy Dean.
5 strikeouts for Zerflew, 6 for Schwinn, so quite the pitcher's duel here.
1-1 on its way. That one fouled back to the screen here. Didn't give the numbers for Dean, a sophomore batting .323 on the year, slugging .404, 32 hits, 15 RBIs. She's got 1 triple and 6 doubles on the year. So she does have gap power, but boy, both pitchers have not given up much in the way of solid contact today. Here's the 1-2 from Zerflew. That one lifted up in the air as McFadden settles under it and makes the catch for out number 2 here in the 5th.
Wind not much of a factor. We began the game about 10-mile-an-hour wind from the east. The flags are blowing out in left field, but certainly not going to be the sole reason a ball gets out of here like a lot of other days we've seen here in the great state of Kansas.
So here comes the problem child, at least for Southeast of Saline's intents and purposes. Jocelyn Sutton has 2 of the 3 hits today for Jefferson West, a bunt single in the 1st and an infield single in the 3rd. She has showcased her blazing speed on multiple occasions, and as a result, you see Zerflew pitching her outside just a little bit here to start things off. Zerflew back in the circle, a 1-0 count. Sutton trying to get her speed aboard here with 2 away. And the pitch in there for a strike, and that's that outside edge that Zerflew was hunting with that first pitch.
Certainly great location, and now you're seeing her, like you said, she's working quick, but appears that setting where that landing spot has been adjusted, and she hasn't had any issues the past 2 innings.
1-1 up high. Boy, you thought Sutton thought about it there for a second and then realized where it was, and she'll leave that right there. For the majority of these pitches, when Zerflu's missed, she's missed up.
You're seeing that was the off speed right there that just drifted up, but great miss in terms of getting the batter to chase nearly.
2-1 outside, and the count goes to 3-1 here on Jocelyn Sutton.
You know, you see the slap hit every now and then. That was kind of a slow motion slap hit attempt, and then she pulled back at the very last second to try and hold off.
Corners are in just a touch. Welchel expecting something down that third base line. Got to get it across the plate here, though, as Zerflu brings it home. It is in there, and boy, it almost felt like Sutton was going to take all the way there on 3-1.
Trying to set them down 1-2-3 here for the first time this morning into the afternoon now.
Which is crazy because Carly Zerflu typically does that on a regular basis. Payoff pitch, it's knocked foul down that third base line, and that will fill the count up or keep it full here at 3-2.
Here comes pitch number 70 coming up.
Yeah, Zerflu, I mean, that's the great thing about softball. It doesn't tax the arm at all. I mean, you can throw until your arm physically falls off. Zerflu hunting one more big out here in the fifth. Here comes the payoff pitch. And it's low, ball 4. So Jocelyn Sutton will take her base. That is the one base runner that, if you asked Jeff West to put anybody they wanted aboard, it would be Sutton. And she is on here with the heart of the order coming up and only, 2 outs in the inning for Taryn Taylor.
She leads the team in stolen bases with 11 on the year.
You wonder if she might test the arm of Donnelly. We've not seen a stolen base attempt, not a true one, out of Jeff West so far today. She will sit tight at first. Good first pitch across for strike 1. Carly Zerflu is ahead here of Taryn Taylor. Taylor's over 2, but she did lay down the RBI sacrifice bunt that brought in Emmy Dean to score the only run of the day for Jeff West. That came back in the third inning. Here it's an 0-1 delivery, and that is close, but no cigar as the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Taryn Taylor this year is senior, batting .375, slugging .396. 36 hits, 22 RBI, and 12 runs scored for the senior. 1-1 from Zerflu. It's off the bat, and the count rolls to 1-2.
We talk a lot about Southeast of Saline batting .362 as a team and .468 on base percentage, but .328 batting average for the Tigers of Jefferson West and a .381 on base percentage.
Yeah, they have been phenomenal this season, both at the plate and in the circle. This is a big out to try to record. Zerflu brings it home on 1-2. It's in the dirt. The runner goes. Throw down to second from Donnelly. It's a good throw. Did they get the tag on in time? Yes, they did. Riley Donnelly hoses Jocelyn Sutton at second base, and Southeast is out of the inning with no harm done. We go to the home half of inning number 5, still tied up at 1 apiece here from Rock Chalk Park. Coverage of today's game is brought to you by Bennington State Bank and Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Sports Clinic.
At Maury Clinic Sports Medicine, we are available when you need us most. I'm Dr. Andrew Westbrook, and I am the sports medicine physician at Maury Clinic. I see patients of all ages and help them come back stronger than ever. From broken bones to joint pain, my team and I are committed to help you do more. For those with sports injuries, come see us at our sports medicine walk-in clinic Monday and Thursday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. Prevent, recover, and strengthen so you can perform your best. Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Make your move with confidence.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Park. Tyler Henry joined here by Anthony Georges. We've got Brian Dennett producing, engineering, pushing all the buttons, and running all the cameras out there in center field today. And, of course, chief statistician Devin Haney has decided to join us in the broadcast booth today. We thank Devin for all of his support here today. But for Southeast of Saline, it's going to be the 8, 9, and 1-hole hitters, Peyton Merrill, Madeline McFadden, and Reese Heinrich to lead off the inning. And, boy, Anthony, obviously the 8 and 9 spots have not been the most productive in the world this year. They've been good, but if Southeast could get a few of these girls on and then flip it to the top of the book, you feel like there may be a rally in store here in the 5th. First pitch to Peyton Merrill is in for a called strike. Merrill's been a little cautious today. That led to her getting in an early hole, and she finds herself down 0-1 here.
You're exactly right. Southeast of Saline plays great with a lead, and they just haven't had that lead yet. They were down 1-0 early, and now they're tied here.
Check swing. Merrill fouls this back to the screen. She's down 0-2 again. Can't afford to be too patient. Merrill has not had a ton of hits this year, but it feels like the ones she has have all been big for Southeast. She's batting .231. She's looking for the 10th hit of her season. What a time it would be for hit number 10. as she takes a good-looking pitch up and out. The count goes to 1-2.
That's one of those great delivery pitches, and a pitch you want to miss with. A great one by Schwinn, but hey, how about the patience right there by the batter Merrill to try and dig her way back in, down 0-2, now 1-2.
Merrill, a junior. Well, that's not the one to swing at. Did she go? Yes, she did, and that's her second strikeout of the day. It's also back-to-back strikeouts here for Addie Schwinn, who has been slicing through the bottom slots in the order like it's nothing. You look at the 5 through 9 holes today, a line out, a fly out, and 7 strikeouts. Madeline McFadden takes the first pitch strike, and it feels like Schwinn's been more content to attack the zone against those batters and then be a little more patient with the top 4 in the lineup.
And like you're saying just a second ago, you have to get on here if you're McFadden, because the top of the order, Heinrich and Samuelson, both have been on twice. Each time they've both been on, and so if you could just get somebody on here, you've seen them both come through with base hits. This would be certainly a huge opportunity here, getting to be late parts of the game.
It's another 0-2 count to Madeline McFadden, and you don't want Heinrich necessarily hitting with 2 away. We've seen plenty of that this year where it goes, 8 out, 9 out, and then Heinrich comes to bat with 2 down. So for McFadden, like I said, if she can find her way aboard, any way she can do it would be the best way. As the 1-2 offering is on its way, this one taken to third base, and it's an easy play by Malone. That is 2 gone to bring up Reese Heinrich. But like I said, if you get a chance to get Heinrich aboard, you just never know. She may very well find her way around the bases. Has to get on first, though. That's priority number 1 here.
Maybe a little bit frustrated as well. First time all year she's been caught stealing, trying to get to 50 stolen bases on the year. She was caught last time. Walk and a single here so far on the afternoon.
Yeah, Heinrich, she is your typical table setter. She bats .471, but her on-base percentage above .600. For someone who has played in every single game this year for Southeast of Saline, getting on base 60% of the time, that's ridiculous.
Certainly something that makes Coach Smith very, very happy standing in that third base coach's box.
We'll see if she can find her way aboard for a third time today. The 1-1, that's outside, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. And as I said, Schwinn has been very cautious when pitching to Heinrich, Samuelson, Soul, and Donnelly today.
I've been very impressed with both teams' catchers as well.
2-1, up and in, and the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike.
Both catchers have thrown out a runner attempting to steal. We've seen the catcher here, Taylor, throw out a runner down at second base trying to advance on a throw home, and so they have been terrific.
3-1 to Heinrich. It's ball 4, and for the second time today, Reese Heinrich is walked, and the question is, does her getting thrown out at second change the formula at all? We talked with Tyler Smith about this. He said it on the pregame show. He said in baseball, so many factors, right? What's your lead? Is it a lefty or a righty? Can you worry about getting picked off? Are they going to fake the pitch home and then throw to first? In softball, it's a math problem, and they're going to gamble on that math problem again. Another good throw to second, but they cannot get Heinrich. And Reese Heinrich has the advantage as she is now 2 of 3. But I'll tell you what, Heinrich might be the only player on the roster you feel comfortable sending. Taylor's got a cannon.
That is just a beautiful throw down to second. A great tag by Harriet Dean. And now first base coach, or one of the coaches out of the dugout to try and talk about it with the umpire. We've seen both coaches get a little bit animated, and hey, rightfully so. It's the state semifinals. Coach Smith just a while ago arguing maybe a couple of strikeouts have been high in the zone. Now discussing that call out, or the safe call at second base. So, hey, leave it all on the line, and certainly that's what the players are doing right here. But a runner in scoring position, an opportunity to strike here.
And all season long, this has been the philosophy for Southeast of Saline. In a situation like this, when you have Carly Zerflu, you feel like you only need 1. Counts 0-2, back to the wall here for Kaya Samuelson. The sophomore has been excellent this year. .514 slugging, 25 hits. 0-2 pitch, shot to the right side, a diving stop for Dean. It gets by, here comes Heinrich. And the Lady Trojans lead for the first time today here in inning number 5. Boy, it looked like Dean had it knocked down, but it rolls away, and Heinrich never stopped running.
That's why you take off on contracts, partner. She took off as soon as it was hit first base side, and she just never stopped. Great play by Dean at second, diving to her left.
Samuelson going to second, nobody covering the bag. And you wonder if that kind of shook up the defense a little bit, because that's Dean, who did not, neither of them got over. And now Southeast with another runner in scoring position.
And now here's an opportunity to not blow it open, but certainly to give yourself some breathing room.
That ball hit well, tracking it back and making the catch is Sutton, and that's going to end the inning. But Southeast of Saline, as they have all season long, manufactures a run in the 5th, and they'll take a 2-1 lead into inning number 6. We'll step away. We're back with more. It is the state softball semifinal from Rock Chalk Park. You're watching it right here on the Salina Post Sports Network.
The Bennington State Bank proudly supports local sports and wants each student to know that their hard work and talent is noticed and appreciated. At Bennington State Bank, they care about local communities and are committed to fostering long-term relationships through the delivery of excellent customer service, integrity, and fairness. From helping local businesses to supporting community youth and nonprofits to helping you purchase your dream home or invest in your future, Bennington State Bank is here to help. Give them a call to experience exceptional banking with hometown service. Bennington State Bank, your trusted hometown bank. Member FDIC.
For the first time in the semifinal round, Southeast of Saline has the lead. Welcome back to Rock Chalk Park here in Lawrence, Kansas. Tyler Henry, Anthony Georges, and that's Southeast Lady Trojans softball. I mean, this is what they do, right? They come out, they put pressure on you, and ultimately they find their way home, and they have their first lead of the day. It's 2-1 as we go to the 6th.
And that's why stealing second there was so big, right? I mean, she already got thrown out once. It was a close play at second base, and if you're not there at second, you're not going to have a chance to get the go-ahead run there late in the game. So the aggression on the base pass works again. It's 2-1 now as we go to the 6th, and now we'll see if Carly Zerflew can just come in and lock this thing down with 6 more outs. But don't count Jeff West out yet. Extra innings win against Frontenac in 8 innings just the other day.
Well, and don't count out the heart of the order, Taryn Taylor, Harriet Dean, and Bristol Harper. I mean, you want a chance to come back. These are the girls to do it, as they will have the 3, 4, and 5-hole hitters due up. But if you're Southeast, if you can get through this very dangerous part of the lineup, it's not to say the bottom of the order is not as good, but for Jeff West, that is not where their big boppers lie. Also, don't forget, Jefferson West, very capable of smashing one out of the park, as they have 13 home runs this year, most of those very legitimate. And Rock Chalk Park, for being a D1 college park, is not that deep. We mentioned 200 to the corners, 220 to straightaway center.
Now you wonder who's got the advantage here, right? Because you go back to the bottom or to the top of the 5th, and they were right here. Taylor was at the plate. They had a throw-out trying to steal second, so she saw how many pitches, and then now she comes back and she's right back to begin. So who's got the advantage here? Does Zerflew in the circle feel like she's got a good read, or is it reversed here with Taylor at the plate?
Yeah, Taryn Taylor technically 0 for 2 today, although she's going to poke one into left field, and there you go, the leadoff runner, and the tying run is aboard at first here for Jefferson West with nobody out. And here comes Harriet Dean. Dean's numbers top everybody else on this team. She bats .418, slugs .659. She leads the team with 38 hits, 7 doubles, 5 home runs, and 34 RBI. And if she can add one more, that could potentially push them over the top. Ariana Unruh, a freshman, is going to come in and pinch run here at first for Taryn Taylor.
You mentioned it just a little while ago, partner, but Coach Maddie Barger got her team back to the promised land back at state after being on the team to win it, back in 2015. And she's got a lot of confidence putting a freshman out there. How about that? Freshman for each side in this game has been on the bases.
Yeah, I mean, you trust in speed, though, and when you only need one run to tie it up, why not put her out there and see what happens? First pitch, back to the pitcher. Zerflew awkwardly will go to first. I think that's the right read for Zerflew. I know you got the tying run into scoring position now, but there's no point in panicking a throw to second base there. She takes the sure out. She trusts herself to go get 2 more.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a second. I think she was going to go to second. I think she was going to go to second, and she bobbled it, and then she realized, like you're saying here, all right, I got no other play except first, and then she gets the sure out, but I think they might have tried to turn 2 right there.
No, 100% would have tried to go to second had she fielded it cleanly, but you see pitchers all the time, especially in high-pressure situations like this, start to panic and try to force something there. But, hey, the situation's the same. Unruh is now aboard at second base, and Bristol Harper, another big bopping bat, is at the plate. She will take the 1-0. That misses a touch high, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes.
That gets exactly to what you were going back in the last half inning, though, right? A tough play in the field, wasn't able to make it at second base. That's the difference in the game so far. So that play right there is also an opportunity for one of our plays of the game.
2-0. Good-looking pitch, but it does miss low and inside. You do also wonder, and I'm not saying this is what they're going to try to do because it's not their style as much as Southeast, but with only 1 out, you could see Bristol Harper laying down a bunt, try to get the runner to third, and then bring Megan Malone up. Instead, she'll take this one in there for strike one. The count to 3 balls and 1 strike. And Carly Zerflew, as she's been called upon to do so many times this year, is going to have to work to strand another runner. Jefferson West has left 4 runners out there, 2 of them in scoring position. Back-to-back strikes, both taken by Bristol Harper, and the count is 3-2.
Both pitches just right down the heart of the plate, was able to fight back after a 3-0 count, and now we'll see if she can get the second out of the inning and keep that runner 60 feet away from third.
Payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Carly Zerflew gets her swinging, and that's her 6th strikeout of the day, but a huge out as Southeast has now recorded the first 2. They need just 1 more here in the 6th, and it's Megan Malone trying to keep things rolling. Malone 1 for 2, a single, and an infield pop-out so far against Carly Zerflew. First pitch misses up and out, and this is where the defensive catching abilities of Donnelly are going to have to come into play. You brought that up early in the game, but anything that gets by, you feel pretty confident about Unruh taking a base. 1-0 offering. High and outside. You saw them try to frame it there, but Donnelly not going to get away with that.
Yeah, don't forget, back earlier in this game, an out at the plate trying to come home. Sutton was there, and rightfully so. Donnelly grabbed it from behind her, tagged the runner out at home, and certainly is a key reason for this 1-run lead. And just a quick thing to add here, Donnelly had to squeeze that last one for strike three because it was foul-tipped.
Carly Zerflew has gotten behind both of the last 2 hitters 3-0. She's going to have to fight her way back. I would imagine Megan Malone will be taking all the way here. 3-0 pitch. High ball 4, and it's runners at first and second for Addie Schwinn. And what an opportunity now if you're Schwinn. You're the starting pitcher. You're down 1. You're in line for the loss. Hey, you want to go get the lead? Go get it.
Certainly an opportunity here and looking for her first hit. Strikeout back in the second and a fielder's choice, and then advanced to second on a wild pitch in the 4th. So best opportunity for them here in the last couple of innings.
Schwinn is an excellent batter as well as a pitcher, although here she flares one up. Durfee comes in, and she will glove it for the 3rd out of the inning. Southeast of Saline strands 2 more Lady Tigers on the base pass. They're 3 outs away from a trip to the state final, but first, a chance to get some more runs on the board. We'll have it for you when we return. We go to the home half of the 6th. You're watching it right here on the Salina Post Sports Network, brought to you by Bennington State Bank and by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Sports Clinic.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
For a free personal protection review, contact Shelter Agent Cale Sharp in Salina.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Park. Tyler Henry and Anthony Georges alongside you. Brian Dennett producing and engineering from out in center field. What a day it's been. What a game this has been, Anthony. And as Southeast comes up, they know that on the other side they need just 3 more outs, but you feel so much better going back out there if you have a 2, even a 3-run lead.
Right in the heart of the order, too. 4, 5, and 6 due up. You're exactly right. And the playing in the field, the fielding has just been sensational for both sides, but especially to leave 2 more stranded right there and the top of the 6th.
Yeah, this time of year, you don't expect to beat anybody by much. You feel like it comes down to a couple of plays here and there, and right now, as you mentioned, a misplayed ball, not an error by any means, but a misplayed ball at second base is the difference. Speaking of second base, Dean will settle under this. It's 1 out recorded here as Riley Donnelly pops out for the first out of the inning, and that will turn things to Ashley Welchel. In case you're curious, on the other side for Jefferson West, it'll be 8, 9, and 1. Reese Stowe, Ashley Mosier, and Emmy Dean are the only 3 Lady Tigers who are still guaranteed and at bat. And we probably haven't done a good enough job of, well, I'm going to own this one. I have not done a good enough job of letting you know what's coming up next, as each of these teams is guaranteed at least 1 more game. The 3rd place game will be played right here at Rock Chalk Park tomorrow. That's Thursday at 3 p.m. The state championship game will be played on Friday at 1:30. And either way, we got coverage of it right here on Salina Post. Make plans to join us for Southeast of Saline's final softball game. They're hoping it'll be Friday with a chance to win their first ever state title. This ball hit on the ground. Dean picks it up, throws to first, and it's 2 gone. Quick work here for Jefferson West, Veda Durfee, the last hope for Southeast of Saline to keep the inning rolling and get something on the board.
For Jeff West, that was a nice play right there by Harriet Dean, playing it very deep in the infield, almost on the outfield grass, charging in. And as we know, everybody for Southeast runs well, but able to get the out, so 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th.
Durfee's 0 for 2 today. She'll take the first pitch low and inside. And a reminder as well that on the other side of the bracket, the game that will follow this one sees 2 more of the greatest teams in the state. Haven, 28-2, the 2 seed against Silver Lake at 26-4. They're the 3 seed. Boy, flip a coin to see who's going to win that one. Back-to-back pitches inside. It starts off at 2-0. And, you know, for Southeast, obviously you'll play whoever comes out of that. But Tyler Smith said, he said, look, there's a world where we play Frontenac and Silver Lake. He said, Southeast wanted all the smoke. And for the most part, they've gotten it. This is a very good Jeff West team as well.
And don't forget the regional against Wichita Trinity.
Arguably they have played. 3A is just so loaded top to bottom. And for Southeast, it was not even guaranteed that they were going to be the 1 seed in their own regional, just given all the teams in that mix. That's in there for a called strike. The count goes to 3-1 here on Veda Durfee, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout today. Schwinn back in the circle, brings home the pitch. It's fouled off the foot of Durfee, and we'll do it again.
One of the most surprising things I'd say this afternoon, and obviously with great pitching, we didn't really know if we were going to get a pitcher's duel, if we were going to get some balls hit out of here with a shallower ballpark, but we really haven't seen many balls put in play in the outfield. They're just doing a great job all the way around.
Payoff on the way. That ball struck well, still carrying. Sutton is back to the warning track, but she makes the catch, and that will end the 6th inning. Southeast of Saline with a 1-run lead. They're 3 outs away from punching their ticket to the state championship game. We've got the top of the 7th when we return. You're watching it here on Salina Post. It's brought to you by Bennington State Bank and by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Sports Clinic.
Take the next step in your career with an MBA from Kansas Wesleyan and the Saline County MBA Scholarship. This opportunity is valid for anyone living or working in Saline County and is good for $100 off per MBA credit hour, lowering the total cost for tuition to under $12,000. Don't wait. Learn more today at kwu.edu/MBA. That's kwu.edu/MBA.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Park. Jefferson West down 2-1 as we go to the top of the 7th. Southeast of Saline hunting down the final 3 outs. You know Jeff West is not going to make it easy for him. Reese Stowe to lead it off takes the first pitch. It is just inside for ball 1. It'll be Reese Stowe, Ashley Moser, and Emmy Dean. The last 3 guaranteed in a bat here for Jefferson West. They're trying to stay out of the 3rd place game, which would be tomorrow. And the first 2 pitches for Zerflew missed the zone here.
It was Ashley Mosier and Emmy Dean, the 2 that got on to start the rally in the top of the 8th against Frontenac, that were able to get the win there. And then, obviously, Schwinn closed the deal on Monday on Memorial Day. But certainly she's been really good against this part of the order, but they've been here, obviously, just 2 days ago.
And, at this point, everybody is dangerous. A cornered tiger is one of the most dangerous animals in the jungle, and the count goes to 2-2 here as Zerflew looking to put down Reese Stowe. Zerflew all year long has not been overpowering. She's not needed to be, but when called upon, she can reach back for a little something extra. 2-2, that's not it. She skips it in, and the count goes full.
That we were going to have a situation there where the ball was going to roll across and potentially hit him and get a free base. It certainly looked close from our view.
Big payoff pitch coming in, and that does hit Reese Stowe, and the tying run is aboard here with nobody out. It's the first hit by pitch of the day for either team, and we're going to have, I believe, a courtesy runner coming in over at first base as Savannah Jackson, a junior, will make her way out, and Jackson comes in to run for Stowe, and boy, they need her speed here, trying to, at the very least, tie this game up.
Interestingly enough, according to the stats that we were provided, she has not stolen a base all season.
Yeah, Jackson, she does have good speed. Limited sample size for her this season, but yeah, utilized here as a pinch runner, and here comes Ashley Moser, who tries to get a bunt down. Did she get a piece of that? They're going to say she didn't. I thought she did, but she did not. And so Jackson is up to second. Now you got that tying run in scoring position.
I think she just tried to go super hard and missed it. And like you said, it looked like it might have went off the end of the bat, but it got all the way back to the backstop. Not a very deep backstop nonetheless, but still pass ball, and she was already on the move.
Huge pressure pitches here for Carly Zerflu. It's bunted. There's nobody covering second, but it's right into the glove of Welchel. And honestly, that is as good as a strikeout as it keeps the runner at second. It's one gone, but it's the top of the lineup coming to bat here for Jefferson West.
And that, folks, is why you play in. That is exactly why you play in. Not much of a charge in at all. She was already so far in on the corner.
Emmy Dean fouls the first pitch away. And at this point, you feel like, just given the vibe that I got from Maddie Barger, I don't think they're going to try to play small ball with one down here. You got your best bats up. They want them to go out and make something happen here, and that's going to come by swinging the bat. Carly Zerflu up 0-1 on Emmy Dean. Her next offering misses upstairs. Dean today walked and scored the lone run for Jefferson West on the RBI by Taryn Taylor, sorry. She also has a fly out to right and a fly out to left. The 1-1 pitch in the dirt again, and Zerflu very frustrated about something, but she gets the ball back, nods her head, and she will get back in the circle.
5 batters walked here this afternoon, 1 hit by pitch.
Zerflu brings home the 2-1, a hot shot down the line, but it is foul, and the count goes to 2-2. And if you're Zerflu, you can't go away from what's worked this year. She has pitched to a ton of weak contact. Yes, she has impressive strikeout numbers, but she's got to continue to play her game. That's what's gotten Southeast this far. Emmy Dean, a dream at bat with a tying run in scoring position. The 2-2 is hit out into center field. Samuelson comes in. They hold the runner. Now they send the runner. Throw to the plate. They got her. Kaya Samuelson guns down Savannah Jackson at the plate. And Southeast of Saline is 1 out away from advancing to the state final. There's a delayed send, and then there's that. It'll bring Jocelyn Sutton to the plate. The tying run is still at second, but Anthony, that was a late send. Green light for Savannah Jackson.
It sure was. It was a heck of a throw, but it was one heck of a holding on effort by Donnelly right there. That's potentially the Vernon Jewelers gem of the game. Second out at the plate, the collision, and she held on to it.
Jocelyn Sutton, who has done nothing but get on base today, represents the last hope for Jefferson West. She reached on a bunt single in the first, an infield single in the third, and a walk in the fifth. She is the only member of this lineup that Carly Zerflu has not yet retired. 1-0 pitch. Slapped foul down the line, and the count goes even at 1-1.
Couldn't have played it better out there in center field either way. I mean, obviously the runner was going on contact, but just a beautiful job charging in, stepping, throwing. Like you said, a late send, but this late in the game, obviously, that's probably what the mindset would be on for any coach. But again, a heck of a job at home plate holding on to the softball.
Zerflu brings it home. It's outside, ball 2. And I got to say, if they send her right away, there's a good chance she comes in to score that run. That's great speed in Savannah Jackson. That's why you put her out there. But now Southeast looking to record that final out. Zerflu steps off the rubber, now back on. 2-1 to Sutton. Popped up foul, and the Lady Trojans are 1 strike away from their second ever trip to the state championship game.
A lot of fans on their feet to our left, dressed in purple.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Carly Zerflu brings it home. It's fouled off. We'll do it again. You know, Jocelyn Sutton's not going down that easy.
And here comes pitch number 110 on the afternoon.
Carly Zerflu has taken this team on her right arm. They were always going to ride her as far as she'd take them. She's 1 good pitch away from taking them to the final. The 2-2 popped up. That'll find its way foul as well. And another good catch.
Young fan this time. Young softball player for Southeast of Saline.
The next generation showcasing their talent. Carly Zerflu today, 6 strikeouts. She's given up just the 1 run. The 2-2 popped up. Drifting back is Heinrich. She gloves it. And Southeast of Saline eliminates Jefferson West. They are headed to the state title game for just the second time in Lady Trojan history. SES take a bow, and Southeast will await the winner of Haven and Silver Lake in the state championship game coming up on Friday at 1:30. We'll step away. When we come back, it's the Commercial Tire Center post-game report. That when we return, this has been state softball semifinal action on Salina Post, courtesy of Bennington State Bank and Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Sports Clinic.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
A smooth ride and safe handling start with a strong suspension. At Commercial Tire Center in Salina, our team provides expert suspension maintenance and repair for both automotive and diesel vehicles. From shocks, struts, and steering to full mechanical service, our certified technicians help extend tire life and keep your vehicle road ready. Whether it's your everyday car or a hardworking diesel truck, count on Commercial Tire Center to keep you moving.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
When the time comes to honor a life, Hire Scott Mortuary in Salina is here with care, compassion, and guidance every step of the way. Celebrate memories, cherish family, and find comfort in tradition. Hire Scott Mortuary, celebrating life, embracing legacy.
New Image Audio is offering ceramic tint. If you're sending your child off to school or your wife on a road trip, ceramic tint offers heat rejection up to 90%, privacy in a college town or in the city, helps keep the wear down on the AC system, making your car easier to cool down. Never worry about your kid locking their keys in their car. With Drone Mobile, you can unlock their car from anywhere. Vehicle breakdown in an unknown area, GPS locating helps roadside service find your loved one quickly with the ability to send the vehicle location directly to the rescue squad. New Image Audio, located at 340 South Broadway. Phone calls welcome.
At AJ Honey Farms, the honey is just the beginning. From raw honey and wax melts to happy bee balm and beekeeping gear, they've got everything buzzing with local flavor. Whether you're soothing a sore throat, starting your own hive, or gifting something sweet to a loved one, AJ Honey Farms brings the bees and the kind of sweetness only they can bottle.
This is Alan from AJ Honey Farms right here at 901 North 9th Street in Salina, Kansas. We truly appreciate your continued support and thank you for choosing local.
APAC Kansas Incorporated has been building the heartland from the ground up for over a century. From the supply of aggregate materials, hot mix asphalt, and concrete to the construction of roads and bridges, we do it all. You've seen our trucks, and now we want to hire you. APAC in Salina is growing, and we are hiring for all positions. From truck drivers to mechanics, general laborers, and construction, APAC has your next career. For more details, visit the job links page at salinapost.com. Great pay and benefits, APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now, he's here to help you. Your home is out there, Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
Close your eyes. Now, imagine yourself cheering from the bleachers at Salina South. Feel the pride of donning the colors of Salina Central. Picture the spirit of being part of the Sacred Heart community or the camaraderie at Southeast of Saline. Envision the thrill of supporting El Saline or Bennington. Visualize the unity in rallying for Minneapolis High. Now, open your eyes and see yourself in team apparel from Messenger Total Promotions. Visit them in person in downtown Salina.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Park one final time. Tyler Henry joined here by Anthony Georges, southeast of Saline. Survive and advance. It's a 2-1 win over Jefferson West High School, and the Lady Trojans, for just the second time in school history, will have a chance to play for a state title. Their best ever finish, a runner-up finish. That came all the way back in 2003. This is Southeast's 19th state appearance. It's also their 7th in the last 12 years, but it's the first time they've been here under Tyler Smith, and in just his second year as head coach, Anthony, he might go win the whole thing.
It certainly is remarkable, and it's also remarkable to say there's only one senior on this team, and the depth at the positions they have, the hitting, the .468 on-base percentage, and just the heads up, the IQ on some of these plays was certainly remarkable to see. And I go back all the way to the early part of the game, back in this third inning when they had an additional run try to come to the plate. One run scored. Emmy Dean comes across to score. It's a pass ball, very short backstop. They try to steal a run, and right there Donnelly just lunges, tags the runner out right in front of home plate. The throw in the 7th inning to get the tying runner out at the plate. Just the heads up, the IQ for a team that still has a lot of youth is certainly remarkable and very well coached, and just a lot of fun. Tip of the cap, though, to Jeff West. I mean, they were in it from the start. A lot of runners left on base, and just couldn't get the timely hitting that they needed today.
Final numbers from this game look like this. Jefferson West scores 1 run on 5 hits. They don't commit any errors. They strand 7 runners on base, including 4 in scoring position. Southeast of Saline, 2 runs on 4 hits. They give up no runs and strand 4 runners on base. Carly Zerflew gets the win. She is now 18-0 on the year. Addie Schwinn picks up the loss. She falls to 13-4. This game took exactly 1 hour and 20 minutes to complete. Our Vernon Jewelers gem of the game, going to have to split this one down the middle. Carly Zerflew, she was great today. She went the full 7 innings, gave up 1 run on 5 hits. She did walk 5 and plunk a 6th, but she also struck out 6 and recorded a couple of crucial outs down the stretch. We've also got to tip our cap to Kaya Samuelson, who went 3 for 3 at the plate. She scored the first run herself after doubling, and then she drove in the second run on the infield single that came in to score the game-winning run in the 5th inning. She also made that great throw to the plate that ultimately kept the tying run off the board. So for those 3 plays, we're going to give Kaya Samuelson and Carly Zerflew our Vernon Jewelers gems of the game. And that throw home and the tag by Donnelly is our smart play of the game, brought to you by Smart Insurance with locations in Salina, Harrington, and Abilene. It's been a lot of fun, and guess what? The fun continues on Friday. We will be here. We will be on the air, and as always, it will be free. We've got state championship game coverage coming your way this Friday at 1:30 p.m. right here from Rock Chalk Park. But that's going to do it for us. We're going to go ahead and call it here. We'll see you back here on Friday. One last time for Anthony Georges, for our producer, engineer, and camera operator, Brian Dennett. I've been Tyler Henry. Thank you so much for tuning in. Southeast of Saline gets the win. They survive and advance their championship game bound. They knock off Jefferson West 2-1. You got it right here on the Salina Post Sports Network.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workout.
This has been a presentation of Eagle Media, Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, and Salina Post Sports. This has been your Game of the Week.